Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And some penguins are gay. Get over it.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
And Remington, speaking of gay penguins, have I got a show for you today?
Oh, can't wait.
Yeah, Rem, today we're watching Penguins of Madagascar.
What a twist!
What a twist! Happy Pride Month, all. The gayest penguins in media I could find. Oh, God. That movie had to be terrible, right?
I have heard good things about it.
Right.
Mostly from author and YouTuber John Green.
Oh,
but,
I see.
You know.
I mean, he's got the person.
Holy shit. Does he have them as babies, or is this some unrelated shit? Oh my god!
I think it might do, yeah.
Holy shit!
Because I think it's like a prequel, which is a weird thing to have for the Madagascar series.
Oh my god! It has the little baby versions of them! Shaun, fuck whatever anime we're watching! We should actually watch Penguins of Madagascar.
For another Pride Month special, Penguins of Madagascar, that's what you want to do?
Kinda.
And I especially like how you want me to be the one to tell you to do it so you actually get to go and watch it. Whereas if it was an April Fool's, you would be under no obligation to because you're a bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, but Rem, I have so much prepared for this month already. And by so much, I mean I have a total of 3 episodes prepared plus one that's not technically Pride Month centric, but, you know, reasons.
Well, I hope you have something good enough that I won't be disappointed we're doing that instead of Penguins of Madagascar, which might increase the increase of interest I've had in Penguins of Madagascar is like 7-fold from just minutes ago.
Just learning that they are adorable little, like, fluffy babies at some point.
Yeah, just learning that there's like 5 minutes of cute baby penguin. Oh my god.
What even is the runtime for Penguins of Madagascar?
About an hour and a half.
Okay, so standards kid movie stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, it is fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So.
Really? That's impressive. Because I feel like the other Madagascar movies were absolute dog shit in comparison, weren't they?
I do not know, nor do I care.
You only care because this one has baby penguins.
Correct.
You know, I suppose that's fair. But no, Rem, I would have to weird statement. I would have to research Penguins of Madagascar before we could do an episode on it, probably. And if there's interest in that, maybe we'll get emails on it. I don't fucking know.
Rise up all of our Penguins of Madagascar fans.
I will say, I did open up like the Rotten Tomatoes page for Penguins of Madagascar, and yeah, it's got a 74% critic score and 63% audience score, but that's not what interests me. What interests me is that the video they have up for, like, presumably the trailer is just one of the penguins fully eating ass. like shamelessly eating ass, Remington. Like, seriously, click on the link and look at it. Rico, I think is that one. Just going ham on Kowalski. So maybe it's a bit more appropriate than I thought.
Oh my god! Oh, holy shit!
Are you gonna make it there, bud?
Oh, oh my god! Yeah.
You gotta make it, Rem. We've got a podcast to do, Rem. Only made it like 5 minutes in. Come on now.
Oh man, I'll be honest. Whatever anime you're bringing,
It's not gonna compare.
Good fucking luck.
Oh shit. Well,
I don't know how it can compare to Rico eating ass.
Now I'm wondering if I should pivot and do one of my non-Pride Month anime that I have prepared.
No, we're here now. Here we are.
Alrighty then. Well, Remington, I mentioned a trend last week in a naming scheme, and you guessed it, this week we've got another one that has the exact same name trend, because I feel like they're running out of ideas, quite frankly. But that's fine. If the show is good, then it doesn't matter, because this week, Rem, we're going to be watching the girls love anime Adachi to Shimamura, or Adachi and Shimamura.
Okay, yes, of course.
Yes, it doesn't get much more straightforward than that. And last week we had a story about two people who didn't really know each other getting to know each other and bonding through a quote-unquote common interest, and you were not a fan.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
It was, normally when it comes to the boy love anime, I am an advocate. I'm on the record saying that I think that on average they are of a higher quality. That's just the running average, unfortunately, so some are going to fall below the line.
Yep. And with that in mind, I've got a new one for you. And this one came out back in 2020 of all times. Peak pandemic time. And it's about our two main characters, Sakura Adachi and Hogetsu Shimamura. And these two, essentially these guys are friends, but they bond with their friendship by essentially cutting gym class, more or less, and hanging out in like a secluded part of the gymnasium and occasionally playing ping pong with each other.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. And it's just the story of them growing closer together as friends and potentially as a relationship partners. And yeah, it shapes up to be a straightforward, cute little girl love romance.
All right, now Shaun.
Yes, Rem.
You're talking about how straightforward it is.
Yes?
Does it at least have something?
What do you mean, Rem?
Shaun, I don't want it to happen 2 weeks in a row. That's not how I want to celebrate Pride.
No, it really isn't. But Rem, I'll put it to you this way: I did not pick something that was outright bad. I did not pick one of the purposefully really bad, because I don't think we've ever really covered anything super heinous in like the LGBTQ the LGBTQ plus side of anime. Because I've avoided them because, I like celebrating the ones that are a bit more on the positive spectrum. But, I have some in the back pocket just in case. But this isn't one of them. This is one that came out in 2020, and I remember enjoying it when I was locked in my apartment and couldn't watch anything else. So theoretically, Remington, there's a good chance you'll enjoy it too.
Okay.
Plus, and it's not a web or 4-coma.
Thank God.
Yeah, nope. It's a light novel adaptation.
Okay, all right.
Which means
I'm
more words.
I'm gonna dare to be optimistic. I'm gonna dare to be optimistic. Dare to be hopeful.
And the studio that made it. Oh wait, we haven't. That's not a good example.
Shit.
Let's not talk about the studio for now. Right?
What studio is it?
Well, the studio is Tezuka Productions, and you probably don't recognize that name.
Correct.
We've only really covered 2 things that I can see off the top. One of which made you want to leap out of building.
Oh, fuck.
The other of which you claimed was one of the best in its genre.
Oh, all right.
And that would be quintessential quintuplets.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
So, hey, it has potential. Rem. And
okay.
It's Pride Month, so we gotta go into it with optimistic. And hey, one of the producers was Pony Canyon.
Okay.
They produced Odd Taxi.
Hey, all right. I got hope. Hope is back.
Hope is back, yeah. And the K-On! Movie as well, which is nice. And Silent Voice. Yeah, hey, Pony Canyon produced a lot of bangers.
All right. Let's hope, let's believe, let's do this.
Okay, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Let's go watch. Let's go watch some Adachi to Shimamura. What interests me is that the trailer is just one of the penguins fully eating ass. Like, shamelessly eating ass, Remington.
If you disapprove of gay penguin love, you're a fucking cop.
And we are back after watching 5 whole episodes of the 2020 anime Adachi to Shimamura. And Remington, is this better, worse, or about the same as the last show we covered? Because as we pointed out in the beginning, they kind of have very similar premises to go in. And whether or not this is going to be a good episode will probably hinge entirely on whether or not you're able to say some positive things or not.
Shaun, do you consider yourself an ally to the LGBTQ plus community?
I would say so, yes, obviously. I mean, we've spent 5 years trying to say as such.
And yet.
Oh no, Ren! Not again!
And yet, as we celebrate Pride, you bring me this bullshit, Shaun!
Rem, I was given so many recommendations for this one. Even literally after little peek behind the kimono here, Rem. Shortly after we recorded the part 1 of this episode, I put out a tweet, saying, hey, Pride Month is around the corner. I've got 2 in my back pocket that have been heavily requested for a while, at least a year and a half for this one. And, I wanted additional recommendations. And in that tweet, there are at least a handful of the anime we have covered so far, including this one. So, Rem, I'm just doing what the people have requested, Rem. Because a lot of people seem to really enjoy it.
Oh, Shaun. Oh, Shaun. Alright. I wanna, before I get into the review, I want to speak to the lesbians in the audience.
Directly.
Yes. Dear lesbians. Alright, I understand that during this episode, that barrel of pitchforks will look very tempting. Alright? It's gonna look very tempting. But if you look in the opposite direction, instead of pitchforks, you could grab some complimentary yams. Which, as we have established, lesbians love yams.
I cannot believe you're bringing that back.
You cannot have both pitchforks and yams. You must choose, and I would encourage you to choose the yams.
Oh my god, I cannot believe this is your method of defense. Holy shit, Rem. Alright, let's get straight into it, because I think I have a good idea of what your criticisms are gonna be.
If you have a good idea that motherfucker, you set me up.
I didn't set you up for anything, Rem. I just know what the criticisms I might have had for this show are. And yet, I still enjoyed my time with it. Though, it's gotta be said, it was peak pandemic time when I watched it, so maybe I was just longing for any form of comfiness and happiness. So it's hard to say.
Well, let's open up in episode 1. We start off by seeing a little astronaut floating in the river. Just a picture to make you basically think, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And we'll learn more about this little astronaut. They don't matter, but we'll learn more about them.
Yeah. That is a weird part that I left out on purpose.
I guess they like try to pretend that the astronaut will present itself as an immortal alien from the future, searching for its friend that's somewhere on Earth. And the show will pretend like, oh, haha, but maybe it's just a quirky young girl. But like, obviously not. They glow. They're clearly. I am going to bet the house. All right, I'm gonna bet the house.
Okay.
That if it's confirmed one way or another, it's confirmed in the direction of them being an alien from the future. So I'm gonna bet everything on that. I mean, you can tell me if you want, Shaun. I don't mind. I don't give a shit about spoilers at this point. Mostly because I don't think any are relevant for this show.
Oh, man.
I mean, would you disagree? Would you say that anything happens in this show that, if told to a person about to watch this show, would significantly impact their viewing experience for better or for worse?
Yeah, probably not, no.
Yeah, I think, for better or worse, this show is unspoilable. Like, we can tell you everything that happens will not affect your viewing experience. So we see that. Then we cut to the two girls playing ping pong. And it's just in a section like above the gym at their school, a place that they can basically go hide out and skip class. And this is where we meet our two protagonists. Of course, we have Adachi. She is very, very shy, very nervous, right? And she also very quickly falls in love with our fellow protagonist, Shimamura, who I'll probably just call Shima, because that's a long name.
God forbid 2 extra syllables.
Yeah! Think
Whatever
of all the
you say,
syllables.
Remington.
That's only 3, alright? That's not 4. 4 is egregious, alright? And even then, you shorten my name all the time by 2 syllables calling me Rem. So you have no excuse.
Well, yeah, but that's because we've known each other for a decade, Rem.
And I feel like I know Shimamura so well. So, Adachi and Shima. Adachi is awkward loner, who very quickly falls in love with Shima. Shima, meanwhile, is just kind of like emotionally distant, and that's her whole thing. Now here's the thing, alright? Episode 1, I had a fine time. I had a good time with episode 1. First of all, it's absolutely gorgeous. Stunning art style, completely captures anybody who sees it. Then in these first scenes with Adachi and Shima, it's extremely charming to see them together. There's a charming dynamic that I vibe with. I also like that later on we meet Shima's friends, Hino and Nagafuji, and when they all get together, the friends think Adachi is kind of weird, but they're not openly antagonistic. It's just kind of awkward, which I felt like was more authentic. So I think that the first episode, while the pacing felt a bit weird, it's especially because it's like the pacing of this show simultaneously is too fast and too slow. In that not much happens, but anything that does happen, it doesn't let the moment settle well, especially in this first episode. It just like bump, 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 bump. Which is weird. It's a weird pace. Neither too fast nor too slow, but somehow both. But in the first episode, nonetheless, I was overall charmed, but uncertain. I was leaning favorably. It's as we get into episode 2, 3, 4, and 5, which, let me summarize the events for those just all at once for you, alright?
Oh dear.
Adachi falls hard for Shima. Shima is pretty oblivious. Adachi drops semi-obvious but horrendously awkward hints that Shima doesn't catch. Adachi grows increasingly jealous and possessive. The astronaut is revealed to be an alien girl. We get this really, really weird scene with Shima and Adachi's mom. Like, so fucking weird. I don't know why that scene was there. It came out of nowhere. Feels like it means nothing. I don't know why that was there. It was a weird one. I'm genuinely trying to find, like, things that I'm like, I need to talk about, and I'm failing. Is there anything you want to quickly mention, Shaun, in the 5 episodes that you feel like an event that happens in these 5 episodes that feels like I have to talk about for context?
For context, not particularly. It's mostly just, casual, slice of life watching things. There's not exactly a lot of super hyper specific events. They talk about going places, doing things together.
Most of the flow of this show is, on this day, we have this conversation. Little bit of introspection about that. Cut to the next day, where they continue a related conversation, where it's like the day has passed, but it's still the same scene, and sometimes you'll get an entire episode that feels like it's one scene, even though days or weeks will go by. It's a weirdly paced show. It's a weirdly paced show. It's mostly talking, which is pretty okay. Often the talking is fine. Here's the problem with the show. All right, Shaun.
All right.
The problem with this show is that it thinks it wants you to root for the romance happening.
Oh no.
Which is a huge fucking mistake. Because here's the problem. All right.
Okay.
Adachi is a loner, and she finally finds someone she cares about. So she latches on. She's quite clingy, to the point where it's like, it's awkward for her to hang out with Shima if anybody else is also around. Like, she doesn't just want to be with Shima. She wants to be with Shima alone with no one else. And she can get possessive and, I mean, frankly, toxic in that regard. Which, hey, they're young, that's fine. Then Shima is emotionally distant, cannot even conceive of the concept that Adachi might like her, is emotionally distant even to like all of her other friends. It's like, okay, yeah, they're my friends, but basically so what, more or less, right? Which also is perfectly acceptable. However, when you take these personality types and put them together, oh fuck, that's really bad. Are you familiar at all with the psychological concept of attachment theory, Shaun?
I am, yes.
So, for those who are less aware, attachment theory, and don't think of this as too dogmatic. A lot of people think of this as like locked in categories that are either permanent or extremely firm. No, they're malleable. But it basically states that people have developed different attachment styles. And those attachment styles, they can affect multiple elements of our life. They can be involved in the parent-child relationship. They can be involved in the friend-to-friend relationship. They can be involved in teacher-student, or, of course, in romantic relationships. And there's a few different styles of attachment from this point of view. Generally, the different styles, there's secure attachment. That's basically like the gold standard. That means that you have a healthy bond with someone, but also a healthy bond with yourself. You can enjoy someone, but you can also support yourself in sufficient manners. Then we can look towards the anxious attachment style, right? Or the insecure attachment style. This is where you get the clinging, especially. This is where you find people who will, at its extremes, be extremely dependent on another person. It will come as no surprise that this seems to match up with Adachi fairly well. And that's the optimistic side of viewing Adachi. There's an attachment style that also could fit that's like even more negative, but I'm going to be the optimist here and say that it's just your standard anxious style, right? Shima, meanwhile, seems a lot closer to a more avoidant attachment style, which basically, as it says on the tin, when you get feelings of too much closeness, you might like take a step back, or you might just ignore it completely. Emotional closeness, there's a sense of prickling, a sense of vague discomfort, often like self-sabotaging behavior can be found here. And when you take someone with an anxious attachment style and someone with an avoidant attachment style and you put them together, you get the worst of both worlds. You get someone who constantly yearns for more, who's constantly trying to pull closer desperately, and anytime that doesn't work out is stuck in their own thoughts, matched with someone who, instead of getting closer, just sort of stands as a wall and will occasionally take a step back, and if anything is resistant to the clinging dependency. That's not great. That's an extremely unhealthy dynamic. And then there's some, of course, more nuance to all of this, including more nuance to the characters themselves. But I think that painting with broad brushes, especially for the sake of a comedy anime podcast, I won't go into more depth than that, but I think that at least that serves the general point.
Okay.
These two are not good together.
Oh, man.
At all. And that could still be fine, right? Because this could end up being a show that I think would be super fascinating, where it's not a romance, but it's just 100% coming of age, right? And so it looks like a romance, because they're cute together, right? And we see them get together, and there's a few red flags here and there on both of their ends. But it's cute, and they get together, and we're like, oh, but then we look at like the episode count, and we're like, oh, that's strange. That's like only 5 or 6 episodes into a 12-episode series, and they're already happily together. And then the rest you deconstruct how they inhibit each other's growth. What they need, even though what they want desperately is each other, what they need is the exact fucking opposite. They need to grow as individuals, build broad social networks so that nobody feels like they are insanely reliant on one person, so that they can tap into their own emotions and be able to understand themselves and others in a more complex way, right? And that show, oh my god, that'd be a fucking amazing show. And this show could have been that. Instead, it does the exact opposite, where it's like, hey, isn't this a pretty cute romance? Aren't you rooting for them? And no, why would I? I don't think this is good for them. It's cute. They're cute. They're cute. But also, I don't think that's good. I don't think putting a Hello Kitty sticker on a cartoon bomb, when I see that, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to be like, anybody going to put out that bomb? Or...
I don't know, man. If I'm going to be blown up, I'd want it to be at least a cute bomb.
Don't get me wrong, Shaun. If there's a bomb, I want it to be a cute one. But I would prefer there not to be a bomb at all. And you could even say, well, hey, it's okay to have media about cute bombs, about things that you think, aw, and then explode messily. Yes, but I don't think that's what this is doing. I think this wants us to just root for them, unthinking, and be like, yeah, you go. And I'm not saying it's not relatable. Both of these characters are relatable. I think what this anime does extremely well is actually capture this style of relationship between these two kinds of people. Asterisk, without realizing how unhealthy it is. Because, like, I see it so vividly, and I think that, yes, there's a lot of really nice depictions of it, of the complexities and the nuances. It's showing that it's capable of such things. I think it doesn't understand what it's actually showing.
Huh. That is definitely a take that I hadn't really anticipated, actually. Yeah, because I'm going to be real honest with you. When I watched it, I was like, look at them cute girls trying to figure out each other. Isn't that nice? I definitely wasn't anticipating, attachment theory being played into this, but then again, it is you I'm talking to. Weirdly, that makes a little too much sense to me, if I'm honest. I'm trying to think of a good counterpoint to that, but the only counterpoint I can think of is, man, look at them go. Look at them
and don't get me wrong, like, if the show was aware of how unhealthy this dynamic ultimately is, and how they are actively inhibiting one another's growth, right? If the show was aware of that, then I'd be okay with being like, oh yeah, it's fine that is the case, because it knows and it's demonstrating that. The problem is that it isn't aware, and so it is just like, oh, it's cute. No, I don't want just, oh, it's cute. I want like, oh, it's cute, which makes it all the more tragic that it just cannot work out, right? And once again, me saying like, oh, it cannot work out. Technically, you can have two people of these attachment styles, and they can eventually work it out and everything. It is just from what we are shown in the show itself. That's fucking rough, dude. It doesn't look great at all. And then I could also just, and I felt this especially by episode like 4 or 5, and I'm sure these are the more like conventional notes, for anybody critiquing this. The pacing just gets worse. It's a little rough in the fact that it's a bit of a slog. Another element of it that I think I should critique is that not only is the pacing weird, but the method of storytelling is strange. Because there's a lot of like internal monologue narration, right? Which is fine. That's fine. And a lot of it is quite metaphorical or making like abstract comparisons, which that's my wheelhouse. I fucking love that shit. But I feel like the show, it so often lives in the characters' heads that we as the audience don't get a strong enough sense of the external world. Like, I understand their internal worlds very much, but I don't understand the external world. I hardly understand the relationship between them. Why is Adachi so into Shima? Why does Shima enjoy spending time with Adachi? Kind of just 'cause. But even when, like, asked, like, hey, what do you know about Adachi? And Shima's like, she likes mineral water. And I'm left like, okay, what do I know about Adachi other than, like, her internal, like, the type of person she is, right? What characteristics can I list about her? She likes mineral water, I guess.
Oh, God.
Like, okay, yeah, I can talk about her internal monologue. I can do all that. But if you were like, oh, and how does she, like, love to spend her time? I don't know. I guess just anything that Shima is doing. It's not much more than that. Similarly, like Shima. All right, tell me about Shima. She's emotionally distant generally. I can tell you about, like, her friend she had in kindergarten, I guess. That's less about her, but I don't know, it's something. Like, there's not much about them, which once again, that would be a fascinating note to show, like, the internal worlds that we construct, especially when young, these vivid internal worlds that we craft so carefully and we fantasize about and we build up, and so that when those are faced with reality, which is anticlimactic, often much more mundane, often a lot more messy and potentially disappointing when it doesn't live up to these fantasized expectations we built in our head, right? It would be fascinating to see how those clash. And if that's what the show was doing, I'd be like, oh my god, so well done. But that's not what it's doing. If it would have zigged instead of zagged, I would be over the moon and talking about how it is a psychological masterclass. Unfortunately.
Oh, God.
It didn't do that. So I'm just left with a really pretty show with some cute, relatable moments, with a romance that I can't support, with really wonky pacing and odd to non-existent storytelling. And that's not what I wanted.
Nothing I ever do is what you want, is it, Rem?
Shaun, all right, listen. I imagine, all right, it's a little bit wonky with our schedule because, hey, spoiler for next week's episode, we're doing a gaming episode. We're slotting that in. But,
yeah, because a certain somebody,
Yeah, that's fine. Well, we discuss it next week. But, I imagine at least the one after that, and if not the two after that, will still be Pride related. And Shaun, please, don't turn this into the Pride Month where Remington just bashes all of the queer anime. Don't make that happen!
Rem, I'm trying my damnedest. The only way I can think of to guarantee that doesn't happen at this point, Rem, is to revisit some of the ones you liked.
That's a coward's play, and you know it.
That's what I thought. That, which is part of the reason I sent out a tweet asking for help.
But before this Pride Month, the queer anime had such a good, strong hit rate. They were doing so well.
Yeah, and I'm here to tell you, Rem, I'm looking at some of the recommendations on this tweet. They do not have your best interests at heart.
Guys, with all due respect, we've already covered the bad ones. We've
we haven't, Rem.
I'm sure there's worse, but unfortunately, we've covered some not great ones. We need to get to something where my review is just quite positive and sounds really nice.
Because, Rem, I'm telling you right now, I've been combing through our emails looking for anime that people consider to be lovely and wonderful, and I love it when we get emails with recommendations. It makes my job a lot easier. Some of the recommendations we get were things that have LGBT themes, but don't actually get to those themes until like halfway through the series, which is like little bit defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do here. And then I got recommendations for things like, oh man, I love this one when I was younger, and then I watch a couple episodes of it, I was like, you really shouldn't have. Like, yikes on trikes. There's a lot. Rem, I've been very good to you with a lot of the Pride Month anime. I've been very generous, and that's because I've experienced a lot of really bad ones. And these two that I've had in my back pocket, I thought, hey, this will be a nice and interesting comparison to make between the two. But my god, it got very existential really quick with these two shows. And I was not anticipating that. I just thought, hey, these are cute little shows. Maybe it'll be a nice casual Pride Month for us. But no, instead, we are stuck with a... hey, we're backed into a fucking corner, Rem. We're backed into a corner because the other shows I have prepared on the back burner are some of the shows that I think are problematic, and I was hoping that, these are nice casual shows, and we could probably compare them to what is truly, like, abysmal in this genre. But now, I don't know if I can do that without making us look like the worst people ever. So, yikes. And all the people being like, hey, show him this for Pride Month. I bet it'll go over well. I know what you're trying to do. I've been around the block a couple of times. I was around when Junjo Romantica first came out. I know what you're trying to do. I don't know if you think it'll have the effect you want it to, because I don't want us to be canceled, Rem. We're on thin ice. We are two cis white men in their mid to late 20s who have a podcast together. We're already on thin ice. We want to prove we're allies. We want to do this, but Rem...
Hey, just as a reminder, everybody, the yams are still available, you know?
I mean, next week at least has some LGBT themes. Like, there's a lot of, people who enjoy the relationships between the girls rather than the relationships between the protagonists for obvious reasons. But
it's true.
So
but
maybe
also,
that'll be our caveat.
But also we've already recorded next week's episode, and with how that went, I don't know, people might still be mad. So
yeah, no, killing your gays isn't really the best way to go about Pride Month, I'm told.
Here we are, Shaun. Here we are,
Rem. You've backed me into a fucking corner, and now I'm terrified about the next episode we record. So thanks for that. That's wonderful. I'm really grateful for you. So I suppose with that in mind, I guess the final... I gotta ask, Rem, any guesses on the Mal score for Adachi to Shimamura?
Oh, I'm terrified. I'm so scared. All right, here's what I'm thinking, all right? Here's my calibration and how I'm weighing it.
Okay.
Art is amazing, so that's a big plus. Cute Yuri, that's a plus. Now we look at some of the negatives. Everything I said about it being an unhealthy relationship, extremely small minus for the weebs. Like, possibly a non-factor, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
What I think will be a more significant factor is the wonky ass pacing. That if I had to guess, I think most people would label as like, oh, it's too slow, nothing happens. I think there's more to be said about the pacing for that, though not necessarily to its benefit. But I think with that, I think a lot of them will be like, kiss already, goddammit. And that might frustrate them too much. So that's a negative. Shit, man.
And to throw off your calibration as well, this came out in fall of 2020, which 2020 for anime fans was a bit weird, Rem, because that was when the big VTuber boom happened, and a lot of people didn't watch as much anime, instead watched, people streaming as anime girls and anime boys.
I don't know how to calibrate that into my shit. Did that make them more or less critical? I don't
know! Like, Rem, there's probably a lot of people out there like me who, on first watching back then, decently enjoyed the show because, the world had gone to shit. The world had gone to shit, and this wasn't exactly a complicated show.
Oh, I'm so terrified you're gonna say that it's 8 point something. Okay, alright. I'm going to predict... I got no idea. It's anywhere from 7.0 to 8.0. I'm gonna say... God, this one's fucked. 7 point...
I'll tell you right now, the stat breakdown of this one is interesting. To say the least.
Okay, interpreting it like that, I'm gonna, weirdly, because you said that, I'm gonna go like 7.29.
Final answer?
Oh, that doesn't feel right, but I'm gonna go with it.
All right. Well, Rem, only about 70,000 people reviewed this show.
Oh no.
Because, like I said, 2020, bit of a weird year for everything. Not just anime, but everything. So, a lot of the shows that came out during that year, 2020 wasn't the best year for anime. Let's just put it to you that way.
Okay.
Wait, because it wasn't the best for everybody. And
does that mean that it would get like washed in the tide of negativity, or that having anything that's not the absolute worst would then be seen as the greatest thing? I still don't know.
It's hard to say, Rem. It's hard to say. But I can confirm with those 70,000 ratings, Adachi to Shimamura is sitting nice and pretty at 7.1.
Holy shit!
Yeah. I thought when I opened up the notes and the review for this, and, rewatched the series a second time to prepare, that it would be higher. Because when I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is a comfy show. It's a bit weirdly wonky paced, but, I'm sure lots of people won't mind that. Weebs aren't super critical about that. And I saw that score, I was like, wait, that doesn't feel right for
What are the weebs complaining about? Did it have a shitty ending?
I don't think that's the issue, Rem. I mean, there are a lot of, you hit the nail on the head. A lot of the people are upset about the pacing of it all.
Sure,
but weirdly, Rem, there is an abnormally high percentage of people rating this 7 out of 10. like a little over, like just under a third of the votes are for 7 out of 10, followed by 8 out of 10, and very minimal people are in the extremes of like the 10 out of 10 and the 9 out of 10.
I predicted the exact opposite. I thought there was going to be all the extremes.
Yeah, no, like it is so, like everybody that reviews this puts it either as, yeah, it's pretty good, or yeah, it's alright, or not super. There was very minimal extremes. The most extreme in the negative is people giving it a 5 out of 10 with about 5,000 people doing that, or 8% of the votes. And that's higher than the 10 out of 10s, which is, a rarity because weebs don't know how to scale things properly.
I don't know. Maybe I'm losing my magic. Maybe I've lost track of, I feel like I went through a series of like genuinely like 2 to 3 months where I was nailing it. And I don't know. I'm in a confused state.
Rem, I don't think it's your fault. I'm going to give you more credit than you deserve, but I don't think it's your fault. I genuinely think it's just based on the relatively low numbers and the stat breakdowns. Like it's a weird stat breakdown, and that has contributed to the show, because usually when we see a show that's like 7.3 or lower, it is utter dog shit, even like by the Weebs comparison.
Yeah.
Because we rarely see things that dip below 7, and this is dangerously close to doing that. And I don't, like, if I was rating this on the Weeb scale, I wouldn't rate it that low. On my personal scale, it's probably like a 5.5 at best, but, I'm different, and Rem, you're probably at like a 4 or 3?
Yeah, around a 3.5 to a 4.
Yeah, see? So it's like, this rating kind of makes sense to me on a Weeb scale, but not like
once again,
as the community.
I think that as a type of like character study, I think it's pretty competent. I just think that it's bad
as a cohesive narrative.
Yeah, like it does something really well. It just doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah, and it's a light novel adaptation, which I think I mentioned in the top half. And the first light novel came out back in 2013, if that gives you some frame of reference. And it's apparently still ongoing.
Fuck! Oh no!
Yeah, which for light novels that could mean fucking anything. Because light novels are weird, Rem, in terms of literature. Like, because they're light novels, so they're meant to be like easy to read, relatively short, straightforward. But the fact that it's apparently going to be ending with 12 volumes over the past little decade, I'm struggling to think how much they get into this. Maybe they go full sci-fi with it. I do not know. I like it's hard to gauge from watching this 12 episode anime.
Also, I'm gonna say it, going from little weird astronaut to just like cute star girl, bland decision. Keep it as cute little astronaut. I would have liked it more if the reveal was like that it's not an astronaut suit or some shit. Like, because they already are like, oh, this is what we thought humans dressed as. I think it would have been great if it was like, oh, I thought this is what humans like were until I came to your planet. So this is how I styled myself. Whoops. Like that would have, I think, been more fun, more interesting, more unique. Already it only exists as like a weird selling point to try to hook more people. But that's my last spicy take.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, on the Mal page they use the astronaut picture rather than
of course they do.
Picture. Yeah,
the astronaut picture is just way more interesting.
Yeah, that, and I lots of criticisms levied at this. I think the promo cover for the show is super cute and super adorable, personally.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, and like that's part of what drew me in initially. That and the depression, but that's besides the point. So really, Rem, this is gonna be a ride. This is gonna be a ride.
Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride. We promise we love you.
Happy Pride, along for the ride.
That's us. Remember, we are just giving our opinions, and we are allies. But that in mind, final question, Rem. Any chance you'd want to watch any more of Adachi and Shimamura?
I might Google how it ends.
That's the thing, Rem. We don't know how it ends. I only know how the first season ends, and then I'll give you the spoilers right now. Tune out for like the next 10 seconds if you don't want to hear. It ends with them cuddling together and talking about the future. That's basically how it goes. That's the easiest way to say it. So it's a nice open-ended. Right. Yeah. It's not gonna, if there's gonna be 12 volumes and only 10 are out right now, I don't know if we know how it's gonna end. I'm not reading.
I only wish that the show was as bold as its art.
Ooh, brutal. All right. Well, with that, I think that's where we'll call it. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Rem being devastated by Pride Month 2 weeks in a row, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a review. Whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. But if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where you can watch myself, Remington, and Dylan occasionally play video games very poorly. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are just emotionally distant this week. And on that list, we have Drunk Quetzalcoatl for Anime Out of Context mascot, says Misuka, earnestly expecting praise and a reward. Zombie Stomp, Xanax, Zach Page, Yandere Neko, wondering who has a bigger sword, Remington or Kirito? Why Shaun? Weekly haiku about Shaun, special Remington edition. He can't escape, she knows. Monica just knows that he don't wear pants. We need a Patreon-only episode where Rem reviews Shaun's favorite hentai. Watch Eva and I'll write a poem every day for a month. Walk Me Home Gently, Utah #1, Unhinged Prax. Tuma is always punching out Lolly, so why does he let that little moocher nun bite his head, grumbles Misuka with disdain. Totally God's Angel, Titan CNH. This is not your grave, but you are welcome in it. The villain behind glasses wants Welcome Cheetase revisit, the Susanator, that guy who changes his Patreon name every week, Turban, Tainted Venom, Spicitis, Snaky Pie, Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. She wants to Remington on my chase till I critique with irrefutable facts and valid opinions. Shaun loves Adam Sandler clock. Shaun's grandma's the OG White Schwartzmeister, get well soon. Seth Senju, Sugoi Dekai, that's what she said. Salty Pretzel, Ross Palmer, Rob Lobdub, Randon Williams, Rem loves the big hole. RarXD, that's I love you and Dinosaur. Professor Fox, Paco El Musico, Other McNutt, oh no, I fucked my sister, oops. Nitzyra, Nick Harvey. Nice legs, Daisy Dukes, makes a man go doot doot doot. Nuke from Crumslet's Bakery, try our Prince Albert creme eclairs, Shaun approved. Monokuma53, Milf Diddler, methinks Rem doth protest too much about disliking lolly anime girls, Link Joe Curl, Liam Dunn, leave Denji and Pachita out of harm's way, Shaun, Landon Weatherford, Kylo, Karu Chiha, Keegan Talbot, Keaton Graff, Cassidy, Karma Chaos, Joshua DiGiorno, Jax, Janine, Jamhands, in need of Rem's titty juice, I need the holy breast milk seller, please PM me, I know you are still out there. If Shaun is a professional MILF hunter, does that mean Rem is a DILF hunter as his partner? I wanted to try Rem's lemon water, but this may just be pee. I tried to sub to the Anime Out of Context OnlyFans, but had to settle with the Patreon. Remington will ruin Darling in the Franks for Encrypted Cryptid. I listened to the Angel Beats episode and it makes me laugh how moody Shaun was the whole time. I may be 21 and only just finished my first year of uni, but I have 2 4.0 semesters. I'm ecstatic. I made Brendan's grandma wear cat ears while I hit it. I discovered I was trans after Eggfest 2023 and I've waited all year for this one. Hashtag trans rights. Hunter Tane, Hunter Davies. Hey, don't cough in my butt. Hey, Rem, Portuguese word of the week. Keo Minas. Hey diddle diddle. Shaun stole my fiddle and now I want it back. Hey diddle diddle, please Daddy Rem play my fiddle. Hey, Cursed Waluigi, please say this. Do-do-do-do. Help, I've been huffing on the copium for a Rakugo Shinju review for 5 years now. Going down on Shaun's grandma. Romeo and Juliet is my favorite anime. Glenn Michael Dolan. Flushkondovich. Farmer Weeb's Dark Fact of the Week. He-Man Skeletor was inspired by the creator's discovery of a real body in a haunted house. Fantide. F-Bomb. Erica McCorkle. Dylan Hayden. Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story. Creed 13. Countrified Goth. Here to remind you that you just lost the game. Cheese Monkey. Brockhart for Geodudes. Bree loves cheese. Bland Bitch Protagonist. 2 ounce vodka. Top with seltzer water. Blake Star. Big Blue Bear Boy. Awkward Lesbian who just got a hug. Amazing Muffin, Elise Howard, Alpha Angel, Akisama Supremacy Chant, the Capybara from the Big Hole. Akali wants a Demon Slayer revisit. AJ Tunnels, if you have no cup holders, then where am I supposed to put these beans? AJ Honey, A Days, Aaron Hegland, Ahari A Day arrives, drives the heteronormality away. Pie, I read it next week. I can't read it again this week. Hello, Pie Man, is it time? Yes, activation sequence start in 3, 2, 1. Morepie.net. The 2 different names. You fuckers want to kill me. You want to kill me? I see. I understand. I do it next week. I can't. Sorry, Shauna, put your name in parentheses. In hopes Rem would tell patrons to repent in your voice. Which three of you are currently not wearing pants? Penis, 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 penis. Vincent Calabrese. The Drew is tired. She is eepy. Canadian. Oh, wait, no, shit. We're at the Boy Wizard tier. Boy Wizard tier!
You've been broken by pie.
Where, okay, where similar to last week, but this time I'm going to label everyone as either a Tachi or a Neko, which apparently, according to emerging lesbian voices from Japan, is the lesbian equivalent of Seme and Uke. So,
you learn something new every day, I suppose, Rem.
I'm just kinda trusting them on that. So
I feel like that's accurate, but I'm not an expert.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Shaun still needs a lot more studying of Japanese lesbians. Which three of you are currently not wearing pants? Penis, 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 penis. You are, Neko. Vincent Calabrese. Neko. The Drew is tired, she's eepy. Tachi. The Canadian anime stoner. Tachi. Roscop, you're Tachi. Roberto with the Concerto, you're Tachi. Rare Kumiko will continue to be a sad boy until Healer Girl is reviewed. Also, Remit's Tensai. You get Big Hole. PL Mare, you get the Big Hole. You get Tachi. One Piece is the only show that makes you cry over a boat. 312. You get, Neko. Monogatari is everything you guys say you want in anime. This week, it is anything but boring. You get, Tachi. My Goddess Overlord review, you get Neko. Miguel De Leon, you get Neko. Massimo Martelli, you get Neko. Latino shows friends clips of Rem versus Shaun. He said Shaun must be a pro Garfield, kart player. You get, Tachi. Kugor, you get Neko. Kafka's My Mommy, you get Neko. Caden Kuzelis, you get Tachi. Hellarex, you get Neko. Dua, you get Neko. Cryptid MILF, you get Neko. Crimson Reapers, just because of the scythes, you get Tachi. Carver 271, Neko. Cameron Coates, you are Tachi. Bloodcell, not the bitch boy white ones, you are Tachi. Beethoven 1201, you are Neko. Animated Z, you are Tachi. All Father wishes the LGBTQ plus community happy pride. All gays get free pastry at Crumb Sluts. 19 weeks until Bonsai, you are Tachi. Adam Sandler cosplays as Judy Hopps and cuddles with the MILF Hunter Shaun, you are Tachi. There we go. Everybody has been assigned. If you feel like it doesn't match last week's designation, congratulations, you're a switch. And now you know.
I don't know if you can say that.
That's how you learn. That's how you learn.
I mean,
if you got differing results, you're a switch. If you got the same result, well, then you know what you are. Now we go on to our inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier. Where do I ruin you?
Oh, please don't, Rem.
Where Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will awkwardly try to either confess or ask you out on a date, but then at the last minute switch to something more mundane.
Oh, I hate you.
On that list, we got submissive and breedable MILF seeking gangly ginger weeb. I mean, there you go.
Okay, alright, here we go.
I can't wait. I just need you to pull an Adachi for me, repeatedly.
Yeah. Hey, Yugs, okay, alright. Man, I know you're not usually busy on the weekends and all, but I was just wondering if you would like to join me and, paint some miniatures.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, so delightfully nerdy. Next we got Reki Kawahara.
Man, I hear you really enjoy coffee, and, I like coffee a lot, too. So I was just thinking that, what'd be really neat is if you checked out James Hoffman. Makes great coffee videos.
Oh, perfect. Nice save to save your reputation right there. They'll have no idea. Next up, we got Hermione Pegs, Harry and Ron.
God damn. It's gotta be said, card games. Card games are great and wonderful, and they're an activity that you just love to do, in pairs, together, as it were. So I was just thinking that maybe, you know what, here's a blue deck, and some videos, maybe I'll teach you how to play in a tournament. It'll be great.
Oh, you'll teach them, all right. Next up, we got My Dear Old Mum.
Oh, fuck.
Tread carefully, fucker.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to... Look, you're the one who put me in this situation. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. Right, okay. Let's go with, fuck, dude. I'm running low. for your mom. Let's see, your mom, oh, Christ. Let's go with, thanks to you, I've had one of the best co-hosts I could ever hope for. And with that being said, I want to know everything there is to know about him. So if you have the time, could you, send me an email of his deepest, darkest secrets?
Last but not least, we got second to none.
Oh, boy. All right, here we go. Oh, man. Hey, I don't know if this would interest you or not, but I feel like you seem like the kind of person who'd enjoy a nice cat cafe, right? Because cats are cute and all. And I was just thinking, since there's this discount going on the weekend for the holiday, and I just thought to myself, what if, you go and support them? It's a nice local business.
Yeah, we love capitalism here. Happy Pride!
Oh, God, that was painful for me, Rem. I hate you so much for it.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister. Dear lesbians, you cannot have both pitchforks and yams. You must choose, and I would encourage you to choose the yams. And you shorten my name all the time by 2 syllables, calling me Rem. So you have no excuse. Whatever you say, Remington.
Something strange about these beans. Are these pre-flicked beans? And then someone will come in and say, well, of course, they're pre-flicked beans. Were you a naughty boy or girl? And they'll think, well, I don't know. And it says, well, you must have been a naughty boy or girl if you had the bean flicker come and flick your beans. Came in through your window, he did. It just bump, 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 bump.